Guten Morgen. Ich würde sehr gerne auf Deutsch zu Ihnen sprechen, aber leider ist mein Deutsch dafür nicht gut genug. Ich weiß, dass viele von Ihnen mein Englisch verstehen werden, weil die Deutschen viel besser Europäer als die Briten sind. Alle anderen bitte ich um Entschuldigung. Ich verspreche, mich kurz zu fassen. Last year, we commemorated the fall of the Berlin Wall at the Brandenburg Gate on the 9th of November. And this year, it's really appropriate, it's fitting that we should be here in Alexanderplatz, where just a week earlier, on the 2nd of November 1989, thousands of people came to claim their freedom. They came together, they spoke together, they made common cause, and a week later, the wall fell. It was an ancestor of mine, Heinrich Heine, who said, "The men of action are, after all, only the unconscious instruments of the men of thought." In other words, in Alexanderplatz 23 years ago, the idea, the thought, the coming together of ordinary and extraordinary men and women, and exchange of opinions and the making of common cause made possible what happened a week later at the Berlin Wall. It's the idea, the thought, the exchange of opinion, the freedom to do so that changes the world. Here in Berlin, 23 years ago in 1989, 150 years ago, or just almost 150 years ago, when Speaker's Corner was created in London's Hyde Park. Just last year in Tunis, in Tahrir Square in Cairo. Maybe later this year, we hope soon in Damascus, in Syria. So today we celebrate our right to free thought, to free opinion, to free expression, and to free assembly. And how could we not celebrate those rights, which are all the more precious when we realize that in so many societies, so many countries around the world, people do not enjoy them. If we were gathered here today, in hundreds of cities throughout the world, certainly in Damascus, we would be risking arrest, imprisonment, perhaps even death. And when we think of those of our fellow world citizens who risk everything for freedom, then we should celebrate and we should cherish the freedoms that we enjoyed. So last year at the Brandenburg Gate, I made the remark that the wall, we talk about the fall of the wall, but the wall didn't fall by itself. People brought down the wall. And wherever we live in free societies, we should honor those people who bring down walls. Often people who, in their own lifetimes, despite the sacrifices they made, were not able to enjoy the rights that they bequeathed to us, their sons and daughters. In Berlin, the rights we celebrate today are only a generation old, and perhaps there are people here today, or certainly not far from where we're standing, who won that freedom for themselves and for their children. And they, above all, will know how fragile those freedoms are. They know that though they tore down a wall, it was other men and women who built it. This morning I tried to visit the monument at Weberplatz, where my ancestors and many others' books were burned. Unfortunately, now it's a building site, but the thought remains the same. And it was he, Heinrich Heine, who said, "Wherever books are burned, men are also, in the end, will be burned." So yes, we must be vigilant. We must be vigilant, but freedom and the exercise of freedom is its best defense. And that's why it's so important that we're here today, expressing our rights, expressing our freedoms. For so long as we exercise those rights, so long as we exercise our freedoms, so long as we are capable of agreeing to agree with each other, and sometimes agreeing to disagree, so long as we are speaking and, yes, listening to each other, our democracy will be strong and healthy. And this is the space that we have created today, a magic space, but a magic made by men and women like us. Here, in this space, are vested all our rights as citizens. When we stand in this space, We are the equal to anyone else in our community, in our city, in our society. So let's celebrate and inspire each other with our ideas, our words, and our friendship, and be ever grateful to each other that we were able to do so. Thank you very much. Vielen Dank.